Tony, what were your thoughts on Howland's performance tonight? What made him so effective?
Well, I would just say he worked us over. Give him credit. You just got to explain what that means, but basically what happened, he worked us over and he shut us down.
And over here to the right.
Tony, we saw a lot of the guys kind of looking puzzled up there and turning back and having some conversations with the umpire. What was making it so difficult for them to adapt to the strike zone tonight?
No comment. I just said we got worked over and you don't take credit away from the other side.
Another question for Tony? We'll let a few gentlemen get seated. Guess the elevators are slow. Question right here in the second row.
The decision to go with Boggs, was that because you've used Dallas and Lynn a lot? Recently you didn't want to bring Westbrook in with the middle of an inning?
Well, it looked like it was a bad decision. And he missed with his pitch. Actually, the rest of the time he made pitches capable of making, but yeah, he's a talented guy. He gave us a good ninth inning yesterday. He just missed, and Napoli didn't.
And over here to the right.
Tony, in your view, was Jackson effectively wild, or was it a matter if you walk that many, eventually it's going to catch up with you?
Well, I actually thought in his almost 6 innings, I thought he deserves a lot of credit. I thought he pitched really well. You know, he gets a run on the board right away, and that's all they get, really. You know, he missed a few times, he walked a couple guys, but he kept making pitches. I mean, overall, I give him a huge plus for keeping us in the game.
And right here in front, Barry.
Yeah, what adjustments did they make to you guys after the big offensive night last night?
Well, I mean, if you pitch well, you stop good hitting. I mean, we pitched pretty well. It was 1-0 game there. We made one mistake for 3 runs. I mean, so good pitching is always going to stop good hitting. Just keep the ball in the middle.
And over to the right, Tyler.
Tony, going home before you go home for Game 6, you'll have Carpenter, and as well as he's pitched this postseason, how comforting is it to know that he could send you home with a lead?
If you want to choose somebody from the St. Louis Cardinals to pitch that game, it's Chris. I mean, there isn't anything about pitching on the road in a hostile environment. I think he actually likes it and pitches better. His problem is going to be good hitters, and he'll have to pitch effectively. But you know, we love playing behind him because we know he's going to compete as hard as he can. He's got a lot to compete with.
And again to the right.
Just going back to Boggs for a second, it's easy to dwell on it now, but what did you like about that matchup going into?
Well, I thought for sure that Jackson he had given us what he had. And, you know, Boggs, as you saw the rest of the time, you know, when he gets the ball down his zone, he's got a lot of run. I thought it's a double play waiting to happen. He just elevated the first pitch and he jumped it.
And standing in the back right.
Tony, Cal said something last night about essentially approaching this lineup in this park, every pitch like it's 0-2. Do you think that's sort of what Edwin was doing tonight?
Well, there's different ways to describe, you know, staying out of the middle of the plate. But you can never think, well, I mean, unless you got a big lead, you can never think I'm going to get the ball somewhere with the heart of the plate, especially elevated a little bit, and it's going to be good unless you get lucky. So 0-2 is an interesting way to put it. It's kind of true, but it's not really 0-2. So you just have to play the situation. Sometimes you have to move it over the plate some, but just got to. I mean, that's going to be the challenge in the series for both teams. You know, you don't have good command. You're going to pay.
I have a last couple for Tony. Over there to the far left.
Tony, after everything Albert did last night, did you see them approaching him specifically any differently than they did?
Well, I thought he had really good at-bats. I think, you know, he worked with a couple of difficult counts, and that changes. But you know, I thought he put a nice stroke on the ball to Feliz in a key situation. He has that ball in the gap. I mean, we might have some fun. But it's, you know, they worked us over, and nobody really centered the ball except Lance. So you got to give him credit.